We will discuss today about lambda expression. So, what is lambda expression? Lambda expression is a convenient way of defining an anonymous method. Anonymous method means the method which doesn't have their name. Okay, like we have normal method inside that. If I show you here, so any method you can consider as a method. So, what we have? We have method signature as well as their body implementation. So, these two parts you will have when we talk about anonymous method. In that case they won't have their name. So the method which doesn't have their name is called anonymous method. And what is the advantage we will have? Anonymous method can be passed around as a variable or as a parameter to a method call. Means anonymous method you can pass as a input parameter to another method. Okay, normally you cannot pass a normal method to another, but anonymous method can be passed. You can see, we will observe it, but here you can see this is something like anonymous method, and we are passing this anonymous method as input parameter to another method called find all. So we will see what is anonymous method, how we can create this, and how we can pass it. But this is just an example I am showing here. After that, use the lambda declaration operator. So this is called a lambda operator. Okay, so use the lambda declaration operator to separate the lambda parameter list from its body. As I already mentioned you, like we won't have the name of anonymous method, but definitely they will have input parameters. So it is asking like input parameters and body implementation will be separated by this operator called lambda operator. Then to separate the lambda parameter list from its body means nothing but like this, the implementation that we write into the curly braces is called body. Then here to create a lambda expression, basically lambda expression, as you know, you can call it as anonymous method as well. Okay, so you specify input parameters if any on the left side of the lambda operator, and an expression or a statement block on the other side. So left side of this lambda operator you will be writing all the input parameters, and in right side you will be writing the body of the lambda method or anonymous method. The term lambda expression has derived its name from lambda calculus. Okay, this is something related to history and all. So here if you see we have expression lambda. So expression lambda has an expression as its body. Okay, so how? Now you see basically this is the declaration, or you can say syntactical structure of lambda expression or anonymous method. Here all the list of input parameters we will specify inside the parentheses, and then separated by this lambda operator, and in the right side whatever we have in the expression that will be treated as the body of anonymous method. If a simple example you see here, we have lambda examples, lambda expression. So in the left side we have s, and you don't need to specify, this is not mandatory that you will be telling the data type of input parameter, which is not possible in named method, normal method, because see, if you are passing list person in city as the input parameter, you also need to specify the type of input parameter. But you can see this we are not doing here. Okay, automatically that will be inferred. And here we are saying s implies, you can read it implies also. So s dot age is greater than 12 and s dot age is less than 20. So this one become the input parameters. This is lambda operator, and here this is the body expression. Okay, so what it will do, basically the return type of this anonymous method will be boolean, like if any s object is there and inside that age is there between 12 and 20, like greater than 12 and less than 20, that is bit from 13 to 19. In that case, for that object, this method, this anonymous method will return value for true, otherwise it will return false. So if both condition will true, means age is between 12 and 20, that is from 13 to 19, in that case for that object this method will return true. So like this basically we convert, or you can say we write the anonymous method. So a statement lambda here, a statement lambda has a statement block as its body. So in right left side you are writing input parameters, and in right side sequence of statements. Here one more thing, like in left side you will be writing input parameters, and they must be inside the parenthesis, this parenthesis, I'm talking. And in right side, this curly braces will be optional if you have single line of a statement to write. If you have multiple lines of a statement to write, in that case this curly braces is must, you must be writing between these curly braces. So this is how basically it's telling. Now if you see, like we have two input parameters, so we are writing those inside the parenthesis separated by comma, and then in the right side of lambda operator we are writing the body of this anonymous method. And if you see, we have more than one statement. In that case curly braces becomes mandatory. If you have single line of a statement, then as you saw here, we don't have any curly braces. Yes, it becomes optional. If you want you can write, if you don't want you don't write. Okay, so this is the meaning of optional. Here we have two lines of code present inside this anonymous method. So if you have more than one line of code, in that case curly braces becomes optional. In fact same rule applies for input parameters also. That is, if you have a single input parameters, in that case parenthesis also becomes optional. If you write, very good. If you don't write, still it will work. Like you can see again here in s, we are passing, we have the single, this anonymous method is taking single input parameters, and so you can see parenthesis is not given here. If you don't know, parenthesis is nothing but just open and close this bracket I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the parenthesis. So you can see s is not enclosed in the parenthesis because this is the single input parameter given to this anonymous method. And so here parenthesis becomes optional. Likewise in the body, if there is a single line of a statement, then curly braces becomes optional. This is what you need to keep in mind. Next we have is what are all the ways that using which we can define the lambda expression. So first you see, we have only one input parameter, so here parenthesis becomes optional. Likewise in right side of lambda operator only single statement we are writing, so that's why curly braces also becomes optional. So it says expression lambda with one parameter. Okay, but if you want to give parenthesis you can give, because I told you it is optional. Okay, so in single one line in one input parameter or one line of statements are there, then curly braces as well as parenthesis becomes optional. It depends कि whether single line of a statement is there in body, then curly braces becomes optional. If input parameter is single, in that case parenthesis becomes optional. Here you can see we don't have parenthesis as optional because we have two input parameter. And also I told you कि no need to give the type of input parameter, but again that is getting inferred based on the value that you are passing. But here if still explicitly you want to give the type of data, that is also allowed. If you don't want, it will detect at runtime. If you give, then it's okay, fine. So here we are giving float as type for x, float as type for y, that is allowed. And in the right side still we have not given the curly braces, and reason single statement, that's why curly braces becomes optional. And again same thing I repeat, कि if you have the multiple lines of a statement, curly braces will be mandatory. You will must be writing that. So here it says expression lambda without parameter types that has multiple parameter. Basically this description is for this one. Okay, and this is expression lambda with parameter type. So this description is for this expression, okay, where we are also giving the types of input parameter. And here you can see we are not giving, okay, and still that also allowed. So you already understand. And since we have two input parameters, that's why we are giving parentheses, but still we have single statement, so we are not giving curly braces as it becomes optional. I hope you understand what are the syntaxes that you have for writing the anonymous method. Here, this is the input parameter and this is the body. But what is missing? The name of method is missing, and that is called lambda expression or anonymous method. So this is how basically a method is written. Okay. Next we have is the input parameters of lambda expression. If you see, enclose input parameters of a lambda expression in parentheses, specify zero input parameters with empty parentheses. Okay, like there is possibility that no method is not accepting any input parameter. In that case, you must be writing parentheses. Okay, I told you parenthesis is optional in only one case, and that is where input parameter will be exactly one. If it is more than one or zero, then parenthesis become mandatory. Okay, and then so here what we are doing, we have one anonymous method which is not taking input parameter, okay, and it is printing a message. So console write line or whatever message you want to print. So this is our anonymous method. Since the major difference between normal method and anonymous method is the name only, right? So here we don't have name, and I told you the normal method and anonymous method will not have name. So if I want to convert the same method into normal method, what we can do, we just have to give the name of the method. If I try to convert this, I can write something like other things you can write as per your requirement, like access specifier, then return type, suppose void is there. So what I am doing, guys, I am trying to convert the same anonymous method into a named method or a normal method. So I just have to mention the name of the method and it will start converting like a normal method. So public void and then name. So maybe I will say test, and this input parameter, this anonymous method is not taking input parameter. So I will also not write anything. And here in this one I will say console dot write line, and here we are done. So you can see the same anonymous method has been converted into a normal method. Okay, so this is the major difference that you need to keep in mind. If they won't have name, if they don't have name, it means it is anonymous method, and if it has a name, it is called normal method. Okay, so this way basically we convert. Now obvious question is, what is action line? Basically, these kind of, if you know delegate, very good. If you don't know, please go and watch the video for delegate, you will get to know. So here we have to deal with two type of delegate: action delegate as well as func delegate. Okay, so see, we have action delegate here, and we are saying ki action then a line. And what is this? So guys, basically action delegate, you can assign to action delegate those kind of method, the method which doesn't return any value. Okay, for example, you can see this is a method and this anonymous method is not returning any value, just have console write line, or and if you are putting any message, that message will be printed. Otherwise this write line will just be a single statement for this one. So this method is not. The question is कि which anonymous method will assign to which delegate, either action or func. So action delegate can be assigned to those anonymous method which doesn't have any return type. For example, you see this is not having any return type, so we wrote action and then any name you can give. Now what advantage you get? Based on this, you will be able to call with this delegate. For example, I will also write the same to make you explain. Like here I will say action line, and then here I am writing console, same thing I will write. and then we'll print the message also, maybe one meaningful, otherwise it just change the line, so hello world. Now what will happen here also equal. So this method is not returning. Basically with action you also need to specify the input parameter, but make sure you will be assigning to action delegate only those method which doesn't have any return type. Now suppose how can we assign a method which is taking input parameter? Currently this anonymous method is not taking any input parameter, and that's why we wrote action and then name of the action. Okay, this is a delegate actually. So if any method is there, I will copy again the same anonymous method. Okay, and I will paste and I will say x. Okay, and I will say it is just printing the value of x. Okay, value of x is, and then we'll say plus x. So what will happen now? Actually, we are just, this anonymous method is taking one input parameter and it is just printing a value of that whatever we are passing. So again, this method is not returning any value. It is just printing. Means, see, first of all, you need to be a straightforward, like when you should use the action delegate and when you should use the func delegate. If anonymous method will return a value or any type, it will be returning from the action method, I mean anonymous method, in that case you will assign those to func delegate. If anonymous method is not returning any value, in that case you can assign, it is not mandatory, you can leave also, or if you want to assign, you can assign to action if anonymous method is not returning any value. Currently also if you see, this anonymous method is just printing and it is not returning any value. So again you can say like this action, and then any name you can say, like maybe test you can say, and equal to. So what will happen this time, along with writing the action, you also need to specify the type. So here suppose we want this to be int, so you can write, as you know, in delegate we also need to match the input parameters, right? So you will say int. So this indicates that this action basically is pointing to a method which will be taking one input parameter, and since you know the action is only allowed for those anonymous method which doesn't return any value, so this specify only input parameter. If I say x comma y, so now what happens, we are increasing the input parameter. So now here also you have to match this. Okay, one more data type, whatever data type you want to give, you will be giving from here. And by doing this, with the help of this, you can call, like if you have to call the same method, you can call with delegate also, that you already know, test 10 comma 15. So this way this method will be printing this message console write line. And here if you want, if I will write the same here in the mean, I will execute also here, I will execute later point, this point later. But as of now, if you see, we have created one anonymous method. Okay, and this anonymous method, we are, since this anonymous method is not returning any value, that's why we are assigning to action delegate, and it is taking two input parameters. So you specify that also here, it is must, you must be passing the input parameters type that will be expecting. And then simply if I call, so what will happen, ki even though we are passing two input parameters, we are printing just value of x, so it will print only 10. If you want to print y also, so you can add here uh, uh, is this na, and y is like this. Okay, and now if I show you the output, if I simply run, you will see the value of x and y, something like that. So you can see here, let's wait, and you see the value of x is 10 and y is 15. So this way basically, and this is basically printing from the other lines. Okay, but I hope you are getting how it works. So this way basically it is getting like, and again you assign it or not, it's up to you choice. It's not mandatory part. You can leave it as it is also. You can define the anonymous method. So since this came in our syllabus, that's why I explained, like you can assign the action delegate. Action you must be writing. So action will be assigned to only those anonymous method which doesn't return any value. I hope you understand. So with this line here, you can call this method. Likewise, if a lambda expression has only one input parameter, parentheses are optional, that you can see here ki in x and triple x. So this here x basically, this is only one input parameter, and that's why parentheses are optional. Okay. Same thing applies for body also. If there is single line of a statement, then curly braces becomes optional. Okay, and that's why you see we not even have parentheses and not even the curly braces as well. Now you know which type of this anonymous method is. Basically whatever the value you will give, it will be returning the value, or in fact the cube of that number. For example, if we will make here a value of x as a 5, so it will multiply the 5 into 5 into 5. It will find the cube of that number and it will return. So in case of 5, it will return 125. 5 into 5 into 5, right? So now you understand that this anonymous method is returning some value. So you can't assign this anonymous method to action type. Okay, we have another delegate, and that is called func delegate. So if anonymous method is returning any value, then you can assign those anonymous method to func delegate. Okay, and so we are returning. And again, here also you will be mentioning what the input parameter. So here you see we are mentioning a double. So this double is acting as an input parameter. So all things will be indicating all the data type that you will mention will be telling you about the input parameter for the anonymous method, but the last one will be always telling you the return type of this anonymous method. Okay, so for example, I will write again here same thing. Okay, I will and this time console right line I won't write, rather I will say just only one x. So we have one method x, and we'll say x into, oh sorry, x into x into x. So this one, I told you this is optional, so let's leave it as it is. Okay, and since it is returning some value, so action you will not be allowed. You can assign it to func type, func. Okay, and then since it is taking one, so assume in our example it took double, so we can make it here double, and here is return type you have to mention, so you will say double. Okay, and then maybe I can name it, let's copy, and I want to show you the output also. I will comment these two lines so that we can focus on only one thing. So I'm creating one anonymous, and since it is returning some value, that's why you will assign this kind of method to func type. Okay, now if you have to call, so how you will call? Test, and then you will pass some value, maybe 5. So it will return what? It will be returning 125. That is, this you need to write inside the console right line, because it will return some value, and that value needs to print it. So cw tab console right line will print. I will remove this, and here you can see 125 value we are expecting to be printed. So let's check, and you can see it is printing 125. Okay, now suppose this method is taking two value x and y. Okay, so now what will happen? You can see immediately we are getting error. You also need to specify the type of second also, if you are assigning to func. Okay, so second type, but still you will not be writing anywhere the last type. Whatever will be there in the angular bracket as a last type, it will always represent the return type of that method. So you will not be touching the last type until you are modifying the return type of the method. So second y, so you have to write the type for second also. So you can write maybe double here. Okay, so now you see it is working. I am trying to tell here it is expecting one more, so you can say like this. Okay, so what happens? currently now we are giving 2. Likewise, if we are giving 3, so you will write after 2 only, not after third, because the last one is always reserved for return type of this anonymous method. So if you are increasing one more input parameter, so you will be writing after second. So whatever you will be giving here as a third, that will be for third type, fourth type, fifth type, and so on. But the only thing that I want to emphasize here is the last type, whatever you will be mentioning in the input, angular bracket, will be always representing the return type, and you should not tamper. Input parameters will always be represented after leaving the last type. Okay, last type is reserved for return type. So that's why you see we have two type and we are giving here three type. The reason is ki third one is the last one will be representing the return type of this anonymous method. So I hope you are getting me how. And then yeah, in name you can give anything. So I in my example I gave a test. In your, you try with cube and you can call with this, because delegate eventually is a pointer to a method, you can say, and you can call the method with cube. So this cube will start pointing to this anonymous based on their signature match, and then you can call exactly same way like I am calling here. Okay, so suppose we can say x into y, and since we are passing 5 10, so of course this time it will print 50. So if I run, you can see the value will be 50, right? So this way you can assign. Then we have two or more input parameters are separated by comma. You can see the same thing in still, guys. This is our anonymous method. This is a different concept, delegate, but since this is also there, that's why I'm telling. But make sure we are still focused on anonymous method or lambda expression. So if you observe this method is also taking two input parameter, and so parenthesis becomes mandatory. And in this, what it does, it is checking whether x is equal to y, means based on the expression automatically their return type gets decided. So if x and y will have both value have same, this anonymous method will return true, otherwise it will return false. So what become the return type of this anonymous method? Boolean, because it will return either true or false. So that's why, as I told you, in func delegate, in last you mention always in last, guys. Doesn't matter if you have 500 input parameters, so first 500 you will write, and 501 type whatever you will be writing, that will be specifying the return type of the anonymous method. So here boolean became the, this bool became the return type of this anonymous method, and x and y will be having the data type int and int. Okay, and then post which this anonymous method you can call with this delegate test for equality. Okay, and then here if you see, we have sometimes the compiler can't infer the types of input parameters. You can specify the types explicitly as shown in the following example. So in that case, you can typically no need to pass the type, but sometimes if needed you are supposed to pass, and there you will be passing. So int x, int y, and again it is we have written the logic to return. So s dot length is greater than x, it will again have the type boolean only. So this boolean represent the return type, and this int and string is according to this input parameter. And this way you can assign the respective anonymous method to either func or action, depends on whether method is returning any value. If method is not returning any value, you will be assign, you can assign, it's not again mandatory, you can assign to action delegate. If it is returning some value, you must assign to func delegate, and you have to specify the type also, as we saw. Now let's go and try to make the practical implementation of the things that we have covered so far. So here I have this project. I explained you. I will remove this now and we will focus. So I will stop. I will remove this Yeah, so let's try to understand what we are doing here. So this is just will print a message lambda expression demo. Then we are creating the object of list, and inside that list, this is a generics. We are saying ki in this list we will only be storing the object of person type. This is what type safety we are achieving on this list by saying ki only person type object will be stored in this list. Post which we have one method called add records, and in this we are passing this empty list. So let's go and check what we are doing inside that. If you see, we have this empty list, and in this empty list we are, to be honest, we are populating some record, okay, by adding. So on this we are adding one object, then another object, and so on. So we have added few objects. So now our list got populated, okay. Inside this list few record came, okay. This is the only thing that we are doing from here. And if you see our person class, so in person what we have certain properties like ssn, then I mean a social security number, then a name, address, age. So these four properties we have inside this, and we are storing for every person object these four properties, okay. And you can see that's why while populating we are giving ssn, we are giving name, we are giving address, and then we are giving age also. So last one is indicating the age of the person. These four properties we are passing. So that's why now once this method will execute, it means that this list person in city list that we have basically will be populated with some value, some sample value that we have populated here. Now let's go and start. We have written some method, and we will see how it will work. Like out of those records, I want to retrieve top two record whose age is less than 60. Okay, so top two record. If you see here, so who all are there whose age is 60? Okay, so let's go and check their implementation, that how basically we can achieve this. If I show you, I will click on this, and now see the logic that we have written. So here we are applying first of all list person in city. This you need to understand ki inside this we have this entire data, okay. And out of that we are saying find all. So this find all is the method where it will be asking this type, okay. And if I show you the find all method, so you see it is taking one predicate type, or you can say maybe anonymous method we are passing here. So what it does, this method will iterate on each and every object, and will check if this anonymous method is true for those object. It will select those object. Means e implies e dot age is less than 60. So how it will work? First of all, find all method will go for this John record, okay. And then what happens? What is e? Automatically the first record object will be pointed inside, will be pointed by e. So e will start pointing to first object automatically. On that object you are saying e dot age. Since e is in first iteration, e is pointing to this object, their age means this 15. Age has the value 15. So 15, this expression will be removed with 15. So 15 is less than 60. This one will condition become true. So this expression will return true. And as I told you, if this anonymous method returns true, find all method will select those record. So it will select. Okay, so John record will be selected. Find all will now check for second record. Okay, so again this time E will be pointing to second object, this object, and in that again we are trying to read the age property. We are saying E dot age means 17. 17 is less than 60. Yes, condition became true for this also. Likewise, it will keep iterating on each and every until the condition will be, it will check for everyone, and it will find all, will select all those record for which this one condition will be true. Means if you see 15, 17, 35, 45, in fact 55 also, and later will not be selected. So find all method will be giving you these top four record, okay. and these I mean 5, this 55 also will be selected, and the remaining 4 record will be filtered out. They will not be part because of this anonymous method. Okay, and once these 5 records are selected, we are saying ki on that we want take 2. So take method will be taking the record, will be considering the record from top itself. So as of now we had these 5 in sequence, and take 2 will only be considering these 2 records only. But so now you understand, keep find all method till here, because of this line these 4 records were filtered out and these 5 were selected, right? Out of these 5 also only 2 will be selected and these 3 will be filtered out. The reason is take 2. If we make here take 5, all of them will be selected, but currently we are saying take 2 only, so automatically it will consider the record from top. So from these two, 15 and 17. So now you understand how it works. So this entire expression will give you only 2 record. Okay, and how it will execute, that I explained. So now you understand कि in this collection you will have these 2 records only. So for each loop will be working how many times? It will work only 2 times. Okay, so in first, this one will have in this you will have the two object whose age is 15 and 17. So in first iteration inside person, this object will be copied, and we are saying name. So person, we are printing the name of the person and age of the person, that is John and 15. In second iteration, this record of Sam will be copied inside person, means person will be pointing to second object. Okay, and then again we are printing the name of the person and age, means Sam and 17. I hope you understand how it works and how we are able to retrieve top two record whose age is less than 16. Okay, so if I already have uncommented, and if you understand, we know what should be the output. The output should be John and Sam with their respective age 15 and 17. Let's quickly run and check the output that we are expecting. So you can see we are getting John and Sam with 15 and 17 age. This is how you can write the anonymous method. With this, we achieved this with the help of this anonymous method. So you will be writing the anonymous method. This condition we have written, and you can see this anonymous method we are passing as input parameter to another method called find all. Okay, so this is the advantage you will have with anonymous method, that you can pass anonymous method as input parameter to another parameter in method. Okay, so this way we are achieving whatever we wanted, like whose age is less than 16 and top two record. So top two record we are achieving using take method. So this is how. Now I will comment it as we understood how it works. I will uncomment the another one, that is checking for teenagers person. So let's go and check their logic as well. So what will happen? Okay, in this we are trying to check how many people, is there anyone who have, I mean teenager is also there in the list or not, whose age is greater than or equal to 13 and less than 19. Actually teenagers means equal to also. Okay, so greater than equal to and less than equal to 19. Okay, so they are called teenagers. So you can see how it will work. First of all, again this collection will have the entire record, okay, that we have already added, and these records are getting added because of this method. So don't comment this method, because this method is responsible to add the record in this list. Okay, that's why I am not commenting this line, because our list will get populated, and so that we can write anonymous method on those list. So here we are trying to check. If you see what we are doing here, so on this list, we are again calling find all. This find all will iterate on each and every object based on the anonymous method that you are passing. So this time we have condition ki E implies E dot age is greater than equal to 13 and less than 19. If any age fall between this range, for that this anonymous method will return true, and if it returns true, then find all will select that record. Okay, so first of all, as I already explained you, find all will execute for this. Okay, then automatically e will start pointing to the first record of John. So here E will be pointing to John. Now it will check E dot age, which is nothing but 15. Okay. So this E dot age become 15. 15 is greater than equal to 13. Condition became true here. Okay. And we have applied and operator here, means the second condition should also be true. So E dot age again will be 15 only, and 15 is less than equal to 19. Condition became true. So this also became true, this also became true, both became true, means it will return true. Since it will entire expression return true, find all will select this record. Then find all will check for another record. Okay, for Sam record. So this time again E will be pointing to second record. Okay, and in second record we are saying E dot age, means since E is pointing to second record, and in that age has value 17, right? So E dot age this time will be 17. Find all works like a for loop, you can say. It will iterate for each and every object, and it will select all those objects for which this input parameter, this anonymous method will return true. So for second object E dot age, that is nothing but 17, right? So 17 is greater than equal to 13. Condition became true. And 17 is less than equal to 19. Again condition became true. So this record will also be selected by find all. Then find all will move to next record, that is here. And this time E dot age has E will be pointing to this record, and E dot age has value 35. So 35 is greater than equal to 13. Condition became false. If first condition became false, control even won't go to check the second condition, because you assume also even if condition will be true, still entire condition will be false only. That's why this condition became false. Control immediately will go for next, will check here also false. Now everything will be false, because 55, 65, 65, 85, and 95, for all of these, this anonymous method will return false. So find all will not select those records, it will select only these two records, Sam and John, right? John and Sam. So these two people selected. So this inside this again, in this collection, two records are there. So it will print two records, John with their age and Sam with their age. I hope you are getting this. So this we are printing the list of all the teenagers. If you say ki I want to print list of all the teenagers, so this way you will be finding by writing this anonymous method. Here we are checking, if you just have to check whether at least even single people are there with teenagers, means the age between 13 and 19. So you can apply this with any. So what any does, unlike find all, it will not check for entire recorder, rather it will keep checking until this condition became true. As soon as condition became true, it will not execute further. Okay, for example, any. So any will also iterate for all those this one. Okay, but in find all, what was happening, if this expression returns true, it will select and it will go for the next one. But any will not do that, it will keep checking. But as soon as it gets the true, it will not be processing the further record. This is the difference between find all and any. So let's go and trace the any also. So any will will point, will go and will check for first record. So here E will be pointing to first record only, that is John record. Okay, inside that we are saying E dot age is greater than equal to 13. So E dot age is 15. Yes, so this 15 became true, and this 15 again became true as it is less than 19. If you want, you can make it equal also. Okay, still 15 is less than 19 also. So here you will find the difference between find all and any. So this expression returns true in the very first iteration itself. Now, as I told you, any will not go for second. However, if it will find the false, definitely it could go and check for the second record also, third record also. Until it gets true, it will keep checking. But as soon as it gets true, it will stop checking for other records. So while checking in the first record only, this anonymous method returns true. So it will come into this if block and will say, yes, we have some teenagers in the list. Okay. So we understand how it will work, and else block will be escaped. Okay. So it will print two record. It will print a list of all the teenagers, but it is just checking whether we have teenagers or not. So if you have to, work like that, so you will be, I hope you understand the difference between find all as well as any. I will quickly execute this for checking the teenagers, and let's see whether we are getting the output as per our expectation or not. So you can see we are able to print the teenagers, and yes, we are getting the message, yes, we have some teenagers, means we are checking whether at least we have a single teenagers. So it is checking, we are able to check with the help of this any method. Okay, let's go and trace the third one. I will comment this. We are focusing only one method at a time, okay, in order to avoid confusion. So all persons average, and then again we are passing. So this time this is very simple. We You just need to call the average, and in that you specify on which property you want to find out the average. You know how average is found. Basically, add the entire number and then divide it with the number of record you have. So this will be done by this average. So we are calling on the list this average, and you also need to specify with anonymous method. So what it does, it will be returning the age. So e implies e dot age, and again average will go for first record. It will check, okay, it is 15, then it is 17, 13, 5. One by one it will returning the value to average. Okay, where is average? Here it is. And finally it will add all the returned age by this anonymous method one by one. It will add all these records with and then divide. So finally this average will be returning you the average of the entire record, and that we are printing. So if I quickly run, we will see the average of the person. Okay, so average of all the person age is 53. Okay, this way it works. You just need to call the average method and you are done. Next we have is a check name exists or not. Suppose I have to check कि a particular name is there or not. So simply what you can do, exists is a method, okay, and it will check whether the records are present in or not. So here we are saying e implies e dot name. Again this exist will keep checking one by one, okay, and whatever it will check, e automatically will be pointing to that object. For example, exists will work for first record first. Okay, so while processing the first record, e automatically this e automatically pointing to first object. Okay, and then it will check for e dot name. So e dot name has value John. Okay, so it will compare John is equal to Sam, condition will be false. Okay, then this also it will keep going on. So now since it returns false, it will go and it will check for second record, that is this one. So this time e will automatically point to this second record Sam, and here it will check ki e dot name is Sam. Yes, e dot name is Sam, so Sam equal to Sam, condition became true, so it will return true. And since exist method return true, if you see, it has returned a boolean. If I show you the definition of exists and read the description, so what it does, determines whether the list contains elements that match the condition. Means whatever the element that you want to search, whether that element is present or not, and this you will be defining with the help of anonymous method. So it says return type is true or false. Okay, so when true, if the system dot this list contains one or more element, okay, one or more elements are present, it will return true. If none of the element is present with that particular condition, it will return false. And that is the reason with name Sam, with this condition we have record. In fact, if you see, we have three record: Sam, Sam, Sam. So this time with this Sam, it will return true, and it will print the message, yes, a person having name Sam exists in our list. This basically, guys, this is we used to print the special character. Like if you remove this backslash, system will get confused, because now they will start behaving कि this double quote is the closing for this opening double quote. Okay, but we don't want that. We want this to be printed as it is. On the other hand, if you write like this, there is a special meaning of this double quote, right? This double quote, if you write like this, it will be treated as this is the closing for this opening double quote, right? But we don't want this meaning. We want this as it is, as a normal character. So for that we use backslash. Okay, means now if you have to print any special character, in that case you will be using backslash. So it will print, backslash will not be printed, but this special character will be printed. Backslash is just like a hint to the processor saying कि please assume this as a normal character. Okay, so it will print, yes, a person having name Sam is exist in our list. Okay, if I quickly run, let's check whether our expectation is matching or not. And you can see, yes, a person having name Sam. You can see backslash is not, backslash was just an indication to print the special character. And so this double quote is now getting treated as a normal character and is getting printed. Okay, let's go for further execution. And we have to say we want to escape. This time we are saying escape record for age less than 60. If I show you, we want ki whose age is less than 60, please don't print. Okay, we want only those people whose age is greater than 60, and if it is less than 60, we want to escape for them. And then we are printing the record of those people whose age is greater than 60. We want to escape the one whose age is less than 60. So escape while will be working for each and every record, and for whatever this value will be true, it will escape, it will unselect. Okay, this thing you can use with the help of find all also. You just need to replace the condition. Like here you can say not find all, you will say just write this find all and say age is greater than 60. So now, sorry, so what will happen now, it will choose only those record whose age is greater than 60. Okay, so again same thing we are achieving. Or if you want to go with escape while, that also you can do. So find all will do what, it will check for each and every record, and it will select only those record whose age is 16. Okay, or there are multiple ways to achieve the same thing. If you want to go with escape while, then if you write like this, it will escape this time whose age is greater than 60. But what we want to escape whose age is less than 60, right? So now it will select only those whose age is greater than 60. Okay, so if I run, and it will again like find all, it will also be checking for each and every record. So if I run, you will see all the persons record whose age is greater than 60, and these people we have. Okay, if I show you quickly with the help of find all also, we will get the same output. Okay, here I will say find all, and condition you need to change, right? Find all will say it will find all the people whose age is greater than 60. That's what we want. So if I run, still you will get the same output, right? So this way you can write whatever you want. Good, you assume is fine, you can go with any approach. Okay, as of now I will undo, I will say control z. Okay, yep. And then we have one more. Let's quickly have a look on that. So last we have remove a specific name from the list. For example, we wanted to remove the Sam from this list. Okay, so we will say find. It will find the name Sam, and this find also will do what? It will find, as soon as it will find the Sam, it will not go further. For example, find will start executing from the very first. It will check for this. So name it will not find here. It is John. So condition will be false. This one, what is it here, right? So it will return false. It will go for second one, right? And here it will find a name is Sam. Hang on, here also Sam, here also Sam, but it will process for this Sam. And since it will find the name is matching, this e dot name will be Sam for second record, and this Sam got match. So it will return the record entire object in the search name. Okay, it will not proceed further for other test. And then since it is definitely it will, this search name will also start pointing to second object only. Okay, Sam, whose age is 17. Okay, then here with this list, on the list object there is a method called remove, and you pass the object address. Okay, this remove method will be removing that. So what will happen now? The Sam, which Sam out of these three Sam, the one whose age is 17 will be replaced, will be removed actually from this list. So now you will see only two Sam with their age 55 and 95. Okay, and then if we are printing, since the Sam whose age was 17 has been removed, you will find only two Sam now. So let's quickly check how we can do. And now you see we have Sam with age 55, we have Sam with 95. But if you do remember, we had third Sam also with age 17, and you can see that Sam has been removed. Okay, so this is how you can remove the individual record with the help of anonymous method. However, you saw how find it works. It also works like as soon as it find the record, it don't go and check the further record. Okay, but you want to remove the entire record. So what you will do? You will actually, rather than saying the remove, you will say remove all. Okay, in that case you don't need to write this line. Simply you will put here. I need to comment this. Okay, and here just you can say, paste. And then rather than saying remove, you will call remove all. Okay, and which all I want to remove, so you will be writing the anonymous method. Suppose I want to remove all the Sam whose name is Sam, entire Sam I want to remove. So you will say e implies, okay, or lambda operator, and then you will say e dot name equal to what? Sam. That's it. So now this, unlike this find, this remove all will check for each and every record now. Okay, so one by one every record will be checked. This will be checked, condition will be false for this John, so this one will not be deleted. It will check in second iteration for this Sam, condition will be true, so this one will be removed. And again after removing it, it will not stop processing, it will check for this also. Since condition will be false for Alan, so it will not remove. But this Sam and this Sam again, this anonymous method will return true, so those remaining two Sam will also get deleted. Means remove all will return entire record with this same. So currently we have three Sam, all of them will get removed, and this time you will find none of the Sam if we print the list, because from this list all Sam has been deleted. If I show you, so here you see now we don't have even a single Sam. Okay, so this is how basically we work and we write. So you can keep practicing and learn. So